The 37, 38, 39. Hey Project Dads. Today the video that I was going to shoot this morning had to be postponed, and so hopefully I'll be able to make that one again soon. But until then, I decided today I would introduce you to this truck that you've probably seen in the background of some of my other videos, and I'm going to tell you what my plans are for this. This project will take time and move along based on how much money I have and how much research I need to do and things like that. So let me show you this truck. What we have here is a 1947 Chevy pickup truck. This is an early 1947, which means that it was originally the same body style as the 1941 to 46 model. Along the lines, this truck has been stolen of most of, not stolen, but most of the parts have been used. This was actually bought as a parts truck 25 or 30 years ago to complete another 1946-47 pickup truck. Since then it's just been sitting, and I got this over the summer. The worst of the rust in the cab is right down here. That's going to be behind the fender, and this door, this was on the outside of where it was kept stored for a long time. So when I get this truck this summer, it did not have this front doghouse piece. It did not have these running boards on it. It did not have this hood. So the running boards and hood are off of a 1939 Chevy truck. I also have the front fenders from the same truck. This doghouse I got off eBay is from a 1938. So I'm putting a much older front end on this truck, and I'm gonna have to do some modifications to make everything fit. Also, when I got it, this truck had its original wheels and tires, at least on the rear, I believe. So I bought these new tires, these smoothies. They're 17-inch, and these are 225/50/17 tires. They came in raw steel, and I painted them in multi-stages so that I can age these when I'm done. Now this truck would have originally come with a 216 inline 6, and as I've been doing some research and some guys on some message boards have helped me determine this is actually a 235 that somewhere along the line someone swapped in. Now it still has the original transmission and running gear, but this 235, if I've run the numbers correctly, it is out of a 1960 Chevrolet. So this is actually a really great upgrade for this truck. Now I have bought a single wire or one wire alternator so I can get rid of the generator and then get rid of the voltage regulator for this. I'm trying to keep a lot of it original, but I also want this to be a good driving vehicle. Now the interior, not much to see right now because it's work, but I do have, it came with a seat. Surprisingly, the bench seat only had one tear in the fabric. It's probably been redone at some point. The floorboard steel was missing, but I bought a replacement piece right here. Still looking for an original steering wheel or something a little bit better. This is out of a car. All the glass is intact. The rear glass does have a crack in it, and it's delaminating on the front. It's got the cool flip out windshield or crank out windshield. I'm gonna have to make that work. Vacuum actuated windshield wipers. I'm probably gonna try to convert those to 12 volt as well. One part I'm trying to find right now, or I would like to find a complete bed, or at least bed sides front and back. I'll redo the floor of the bed myself, but I'm actually having a really hard time finding bed sides at a price that I can afford. I have rear fenders that I bought that came off of a 1953. They're shaped a little bit different than the older trucks would have, but This is going to be what most people would call a rat rod when I'm done with it. The 1937, 38, 39, 40 pickups have headlight pods similar to these. These are not original to this truck. These are 682J headlamps. A lot of hot rods use these. So these will be mounted to the side of the doghouse. I'm going to clean these up. They're actually very straight. I'm really happy with those. These headlight stands, I'm not quite sure what these came off of, but I'm going to try to use these. I bought these on eBay, and so they would mount here. It just depends on if I can get the right angle to mount these headlights. The truck is in surprisingly good shape. The cab is solid. The floor is solid. Like I mentioned, that floor panel was removable, probably removed for the truck that was being restored. The doors are in good shape, close really well. This door was the door that was inside of the, or to the inside of the shed where it was stored for years. So this door is in really good shape, but it's got that same rust that's under the fender on that side. There's going to be some patches to be done with the body panels that I'm buying and things like that. But seems like it's going to make a solid little truck. Just going to take a lot of time. So my plans for this truck are, number one, I need to get this thing running, and hopefully that'll be the first big video that I do on this. I have, like I said, I bought the alternator. I've got new plugs for it. I've got wires for it. The carburetor's clean. The engine turns over by hand fully. I've taken off the rocker cover. Nothing's broken. Everything moves as it should in there. The starter, I currently took the starter out, but I've bench tested the starter. It works fine. So in my research, I've been told that if that starter was a 6-volt starter, that it'll work just fine with 12 volts. So I'm gonna do 12 volts on this. I bought a wiring harness, just a generic wiring harness, that I'm gonna rewire the whole thing, because there's not much to it. And you know, headlights, taillights, a few instrument lights, ignition. You know, so it's gonna be a pretty simple build. But my first goal, like I said, first I'm gonna get it running, then hopefully get it driving. I don't really know the history as it was bought. Like I said, it was bought as a parts vehicle, but at some point somebody put this 235 in here for a reason, and it doesn't appear like it ever was used after they installed it, because it had a lot of wires attached to it that looked like they were made for just testing and things like that. So like I said, hopefully the first big video I do, I'll have a battery, and I'm going to get just the basics wired up and try to get this thing cranked and running. And hopefully by making these videos on it, this will motivate me to work on it. I mean, I love it and I want to work on it, but it's a big project. It's really bigger than anything I've done. I've changed engines and transmissions in cars, and I've lifted things and I've lowered things, and you know, done tons of work, but I've never like revived something this far gone. But I'm starting with a great one. The longer I've had this and the more I've shopped around for parts and stuff, and actually going out and looked at some trucks, this truck is more solid than most things out there that are sold, you know, of this age. So if you have any questions, you know, well, I probably won't be able to answer them. I'm hoping that you, the viewers, will volunteer to help me with some ideas and things like that are going to help this project go a little bit smoother for me. In the end, I want not a restored truck, because it's going to be a mismatch of, you know, the 47 cab, 39 front end, 53 rear bumpers, 53 rear fenders, whatever bumpers I have, and things like that. So it's going to be kind of a rat rod, but I do want it to look like patina style or Survivor style. A lot of original stuff. I'm not upgrading, no LS swaps or anything crazy like that. So just a nice cruiser that I can, you know, drive around and not worry about so much, and turn some heads. So this is the Project Dad's 1947 Chevy pickup truck, and this is number 1 in this little series on this project. So hopefully you'll follow along and this will turn into something else.